Abusuafo menchachi obibia na mesamo obibia kwa babim fambra nkasa TV nkasa kase boso na edu sisi asemo amuni se mejima badwete dia na chese nyoma trendi o my Ghana mu asimkwa na medusu metiefo ne mahwefo ewo me YouTube channel yi so enani dey dikan TV me so be subscribe to my channel obe like so ado adwenche ebegu comment so be hwem ne akinkan bibia ma bomodi aso so obe share so ma onua omonsanka video so nsanka video abusuafo na Enkopie na mu nsem tentem dia na chese kwakopie mu Sammy Gyamfi akache a odi ne dwuma de ma National Democratic Congress communication minister edema NDC amanuku no oni miracle saboaji su di ne dwuma de ma NPP amanuku Dr. Mahmoud Baumia na busuafo omode bomu pan na chese enya asem busuafa omumu bia obi ade ne manifesto to abonti obi bia chese the weakness anasa omoba ade owe omuntimi nye ba omo hyebo hunu anasa omo kakeke na Sammy Gyamfi ho kyerɛkyerɛ no wɔ mo bɔhye bi omo kyerɛ sɛ omo ba tertiary education ombema students no sika bi na muminkuti.
But the greatest part of the time,
the weekend after our manifesto, did you place this caveat?
Yes, you should check what happened.
I watched.
Yeah, you watched.
I never heard you.
You should check what happened.
And I'll actually go and check the time.
You should check what happened.
It's okay. I don't need too much time.
So
I don't need too much time.
Right. So you in any case, you are also promising to abolish e-levy. So that will be a question for you as well. Where are you going to make up? How are you going to make up for it? What do you say to those who say the NDC's manifesto appears to be more responsive
I haven't
to the needs?
I really haven't heard anybody say that apart from the NDC. They have been touting their own, manifesto. Because I'm really yet to hear anybody say that. And it's especially so because really, if you read the manifesto, you realize that they're completely out of touch with the realities of the Ghanaian people.
Completely.
Yes. I mean, you can infer that from even the questions that you legitimately asked. Clearly, this is a group of persons who have sat in a room, put together things that they believe sound like music in the ears of people just for votes. Because if you compare the things they've put in their manifesto against the principles they've been espousing over the years and what they stand for, is in complete contradiction of what they've been telling the Ghanaians.
You are scrapping e-levy, you are scrapping e-levy. That's no
complete contradiction of what they've been preaching, what they have been preaching over the period. This is a group of persons who were in power. In fact, this is a flag bearer who has been president before. Today, his spokesperson tells us that no Ghanaian child should have admission to school and not be able to go to school. But they were in government. He was president for 4 good years and left 100,000 average of Ghanaian children at home. The biggest challenge of Mahama, His Excellency, and the NDC have is the fact that they would have to account for his presidency within the 4-year period. Forget when he was vice president. Within the 4-year period that we gave him an opportunity. Because everything, in fact, everything you look at in the manifesto, you would have heard him mentioned it either before 2012 or during the 2012 elections. And that is where everybody is concerned. Some say, not just me or you, because you ask very legitimate questions. Millions of Ghanaians are looking at him and saying, where is this man coming from? This is somebody who is all of a sudden talking about how no sick person should be allowed or left to die. The person collapsed the National Health Insurance Scheme. This is somebody and this group of persons who promised us. They basically promised to give us a one-time health premium. Then we voted for them. For 8 years of being in office, they did not even think about the policy. In fact, what some of their leadership told us was the fact that that promise they gave was overambitious. The General Secretary of the NDC today, Guìlty, said that the promise based on which we voted for them was overambitious, and so they could not implement. And this is the same person that has come to us and said, I was president. All the things that I'm seeing today are things that have been in existence in this country. But when you made me president, I didn't do them. Make me president again, and I'll do them for you. Look at this manifesto, Samson. The manifesto is either a recycled promise from his earlier manifesto he presented to us in 2012. When you give us a manifesto, we expect 2 things. Tell us how you're going to implement the manifesto, which timelines you're going to look at it, and if it's going to transcend beyond your 4 years, of course we should be able to say it. Secondly, give us confidence that you are credible and that you actually do what you say you would do. I look at the former president's manifesto for 2012, and I have it here. And I go through this manifesto and ask myself, how is this man expecting that the Ghanaian persons will make him president again? And I have a list of about 280 promises here. Is here. I can list all of them to you, and you can see it here. Out of the 280 promises he made in 2012, before we made him president, he fulfilled only 77 of them. Only 77 of them, Samson. A whooping 68% of the promises the former president made to the people of this country, before we made him president in the past, he did not fulfill. And so what is news? If the same person comes to you 8 years later and start listing, basically shoplifting things across every space and putting it into a document and listing, what is news about it? You look at some of the things they mentioned, and clearly it tells you why they deliberately sat down for 8 years without putting out their manifesto until Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia put the manifesto. Clearly, places where we say we'll do one, they say we'll do two. They simply waited. When we say we'll do two, they say they will do three. Places we say we'll do black, they will do white. In some of the instances, they simply went into a manifesto and lifted everything and put into their manifesto. And that is where you see a lot of incoherence in the things that they put out. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is very clear. His manifesto is simply consolidating what it is that we have achieved as a country and fixing what is outstanding. And that is what an upgrade does. Something. Anybody that understands technology, understands reset, will tell you that when you are resetting, you have two options. Reset to factory settings, which basically is wiping everything off to zero, or resetting to a particular period, depending on when you backed up. I hope you're following. That is what it is. You are resetting to a particular period, depending on when you backed up. Now, for these guys not to hoodwink us and mislead us, one of the things that is missing, which they need to tell us that we can interrogate correctly, is where are you resetting us to? And clearly when I listen to Sammy, all I hear is they are resetting us to factory settings. Because he made a very important point. He says that when you have a broken system, you wipe everything and start afresh. That is not what Ghana needs. The Ghana today that under your tenure slept in darkness for 4 to 5 years now has power. We don't need to reset our energy sector. The energy sector is thriving. The Ghana today that you left 100,000 children every year on the street now are in school. You don't need to reset the education sector because the children are in school. The Ghana that you left, the poor person's children in colleges of education and nursing, that you said if you're going to lose an elections by simply not restoring the allowances, then you will lose. They are now in school. They are receiving their allowances. You don't have to reset that Ghana that we are enjoying now. The Ghana today, where we could not even identify our citizens and take care of them properly, today has a properly synchronized national identification system that is synced to almost every touch point you can think of, and we are ready to leap into the future. It doesn't need a reset. It needs a consolidation, and it needs an upgrade. And so when you come and tell the people that I was president before, I denied all of you children from going to senior high school education. But forget the fact that I said I would not implement free senior high school on the whimsical promises of a desperate politician. Forget the fact that I said I will not implement free senior high school. I will not spend 2 billion cedis on free senior high school. Today, I was against free senior high school. I always said that when it comes to free senior high school, some people should pay and others should not pay. All of a sudden, come to university. If you qualify to the university, I will pay for university education for free. And that is a contradiction you sought to put out. You know what is critical about Manifesto, Samson?